All right, thank you for staying with us. In a bid to bring sanity on the roads and improve security, the Lagos State government has resolved to enforce a total ban on operations of commercial motorcycles, popularly called Okada, across the state. Join us for a discussion with a special advisor to the Lagos State Governor of Transportation. Well, we've taken that break, but to go or not to go is the raging debate over operations of notorious commercial motorcyclists in Lagos, Nigeria's economic hub and commercial capital. At a stakeholders meeting in Lagos, experts tasked the state government on the total ban and use of cutting-edge technology to keep the city safer. TVC News' Nelson Etta reports.
Of Okadas to some routes and areas in Lagos.
Officials of the Lagos State government and stakeholders are gathered here to deliberate on issues critical to transport reform and security. At the stakeholders forum with the theme Okada ban, what next? They resolve that there is a need to enforce a total ban on operations of commercial motorcycles in Lagos.
If you support that day to come, please say a resounding yea. As they always say in the Senate and the House of Reps, they have it.
The forum reviewed the ban on Okada in 6 local government areas, including Surulere, Etiosa, Lagos Island, Lagos Mainland, and Ikeja, as well as 9 local council development areas on the 1st of June.
Mr. Governor made a pronouncement on the ban of motorcycle operations in 6 local government areas and their respective LCDAs, 9 in total.
The forum was also to determine the status of the ban and establish effectiveness of enforcement, among other related issues.
In those six local governments, it's equally happening in others.
The State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, stressed that the stakeholders meeting was significant to getting feedback from residents for an inclusive government, which the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu upholds.
Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor, in the spirit of transparency and openness, for which is very well known, permitted us to go and hold this discussion and to call us segments of the society to come into this hall and tell us what they feel we should do next about Okada, considering the security situation, considering the safety of our people, considering all of the things that we need to do about our journey to Greater Lagos.
An environmental expert, Professor Bamidele Badejo, said the menace has destroyed economic and labor fabrics in the state, stressing that more young people who should have been engaged in craft and agro-businesses, among other productive ventures, have settled for riding Okada.
The Okada menace has destroyed the skilled labor workforce. You don't see people learning to be mechanic, learning to be carpenter, to be bricklayer. Everybody is now heading for Okada. If you are constructing or building your houses now, you have to go to Cotonou, you have to go to Republic of Benin, and bring in all those people to start doing the work. All the tilers we have today are foreigners. All the bricklayers that are today, they are foreigners. So we need to go back.
The State Commissioner for Transportation, Frederick Oladeinde, said crime rate in the areas concerned has reduced by 86% and accidents by 63.7% in the last 6 months. He noted that a total of 7,500 motorcycles were impounded and crushed within the period.
Today, we are delighted to report our position on the review of the anti-Okada enforcement operation in the last 2 months. It is important to mention that the operation has recorded significant successes and compliance. In the affected areas within the periods under review, available records show that crime and accident rate reduced astronomically by 86% and 63.7% respectively, while a total of 7,500 motorcycles were impounded and crushed accordingly.
Representatives from religious and traditional institutions as well as community development associations across 57 local government and local council development areas of the state, civil society organizations.
Thank you for staying with us. That was a report on the Okada ban. Joining us to discuss this issue via Zoom is Special Advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Transportation, Honorable Shola Giwa. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning, Veronica. I'm glad to join you this morning.
Right. Give us a sense of why the government is extending this ban to 4 more local government areas and 6 LGAs by September the 1st.
Thank you very much. Just the report you just showed us now, at that interactive session that we have, the issues were extensively debated. People came from all walks of life, civil society, the academia, the CDAs, political leaders, religious leaders, and the way the pros and cons of this Okada issue. And it was unanimously decided that the state should place a total ban on the use of Okada as a form of commuter transportation in Lagos State. However, the governor of Lagos State, being a deliberate governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, sat down with us, and then we looked at it, and then we decided to do 4 more, and that is Mushi local government, Oshodi Solo, Shomolu, and Solo. So to make it 4, if you look at what we have done, we're starting from Oshodi, right through Airport Road to Bagada, to Third Mainland Bridge, Ikorodu Road, up to Etiosa. So it's a deliberate effort to look at the major highways that we have, where we don't want these bikes to be. So it's a continuous thing.
Mm. Well, Mr. Giwa, perhaps I should even ask, while reviewing and evaluating the enforcement and compliance level the past 2 months after the ban, what's the story?
Oh, it's been a wonderful story so far. So, like we said, whatever we do here is deliberate and calculated. We got data from the hospitals we have and also from the Nigerian Police Lagos State Command. And we've seen that the areas where we ban these Okadas, crime rate have, within the time that we ban them, that is June 1st, the crime rate has reduced in those places, and also accident rate has also reduced drastically. So it means that the security of lives and property is getting better in those areas. So it's just a tangent that we see that we have to do this.
What are the rumbles of dissent you are getting over this ban?
Yes, we still have some recalcitrant and negatively minded on their own. However, we have this Okada squad, anti-Okada squad. What we did is that we pulled people from within the locality that works with the police, like the divisional police of each area, and then they work together to at least arrest them, because arresting a bike can be very dangerous or a biker can be very, very dangerous. So we train them so that in the act of this arrest, at least will reduce any form of incident. We are trying to avoid accidents. So while enforcing it, we should also not cause accident. So far, so good. Yes, we've gained a lot of tractions. There's still a pocket of some recalcitrant riders. Usually they do it over the weekends and in the night. So we are working with the police. In fact, last week, I was still with the Commissioner of Police, CP Alabi, on the modalities that we use to rein these recalcitrant riders in.
Now, you said that crime has reduced in areas where there has been an enforcement of this ban. But as we know, an idle hand is the devil's workshop. What are the plans to perhaps find these people who perhaps see this as a means of livelihood? What other intervention is the government coming up with to help them survive in these critical times?
So I understand where you're coming from. So for this, if we look at it historically, even if you listen to that short program that you just showed us now, you will see that most of them were actually involved in one form of trade or the other. It is just like the normal malaise in the society now, that everybody just want to get quick cash. That's what led them to resort to this Okada riding. Most of them from our data were actually involved in one form of trade or the other before now. So, however, Lagos State are putting so many interventions to be able to resolve this. First and foremost is we have the WAPA, Women Affairs, Ministry of Women Affairs in Lagos State. They have so many alleviation programs they are doing, so many.
All right, we've been speaking with Honorable Shola Giwa. He is a special advisor to Lagos State Governor on transportation. He was giving us a sense of the state government's decision to ban Okada, and he has spoken a lot about so many things. Sam, he was talking to us about the intervention that government was coming up with to cushion the effect of this ban. And he has also talked about the fact that there is a reduction in crime rates in areas that this ban has been enforced in the state.
I think one of the things he was trying to draw out is the fact that many of them who veered into Okada riding were doing other trades of profitable natures, whether they were mechanics or they were traders or other kinds of artisanry. But they found that Okada was a cheap way to make money.
Right.
And so they just veered into it. I think it's giving us kind of a historical context to it.
Yes, I hear he's back. Honorable Shola Giwa, are you there? All right, you were giving us details of government intervention to cushion the effect of this ban. Go ahead.
Yes, so I was talking about the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. They have so many vocational training centers for those that still want to probably retrain themselves or those that are willing to start again. And then we have the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. They have the internship programs for people that also want to learn trade. We also have Office of the Civic Engagement and even Office of Sustainable Development Goals, and then Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is there for the micro, small, and medium enterprises you want to get loans and all that. And then we also have the Lagos Economic Acceleration programs that we're doing. And also there's the Agric Years program that we are also doing. So there are so many interventions that the state has put in place. And we're asking these young guys, because if you look at the demography of the people that are into this, they're between the ages of 16 to 35. So these are people that can still learn a trade or get involved in agriculture.
So do we have a database of these people, Okada men, who can take advantage of these programs so that we know who and who we are registering, and we can have stories to tell? At the end of the day, we can place a face and a name to these persons who have taken advantage of this program, so as to encourage others who might feel that their source of livelihood is being taken from their mouths, so to speak.
Yes, thank you very much, Veronica. Since we started the ban on June 1st, people have been coming to us. So all these agencies and ministries, so when these people come in, they take that. So we are taking the data. Very soon, we'll publish the data of people that were doing Okada before, have now taken advantage of all these alleviation programs and trainings that the state government have put in place for us. So we'll put that. We are gathering that all the data as it is.
All right, Mr. Giwa, I was just going to ask you, these past 2 months, how many Okada riders have been arrested? Because according to the Lagos State Transport Sector Reform Law 2018, when your bike or your motorcycle is impounded, you also stand the chance of risking conviction and of going to a jail term, I think 3 years or thereabouts. So, and even the passengers as well. So, have we had arrests this past 2 months?
Yes, we've had arrests. However, being a government that is people-friendly, as much as we want to enforce the law, we understand what led to this. So, in as much as we don't want the bikes, okay, so what we do is that we arrest them, we collect the bikes. If they don't resist us, we usually just allow them go. However, from what we have seen, based on the review that we're seeing, those recalcitrant riders, will not be prosecuted. We've had to prosecute a pocket of them, just a few. So what we do is that when we arrest them, we try to talk to them, to convince them to take advantage of all the programs the state has put in place. So it's more of taking the bikes off the road than really arresting them.
Well, it sounds good, but it almost sounds like you're breaking the laws that you have set yourself as a government. But let me also remind you that this ban was triggered by the killing of David Umar, the sound engineer who was killed by a band of unruly Okada riders in the Lekki area of Lagos some months ago. I wonder if those riders, those perpetrators of that dastardly act have been brought to justice.
Oh, I do not have that information, I can tell you. However, what we're doing is, like I said, is a deliberate attempt. Whatever we're doing is we are deliberate about it. Like I said, this law has been there before now. It was enacted in 2018, Lagos State Transport Reform Law. They actually banned all Okada from highways and bridges. So, like you said, something will trigger something. So it's like a reaction. Okay, we have to do this. And don't forget, we have been enforcing this law before now. We actually reduced the enforcement due to COVID and the NSAS issue that we have. But as a government, we need to deliver on the promise to the people. So this is what we're doing.
It's important to try to ask, given the ban of Okada, whether you have been gathering data or information on criminal elements who might have used Okada and who are still stragglers on the streets of Lagos.
Thank you very much, sir. So we're working in conjunction with the police. All our enforcement is being done majorly by the Nigerian police, the Lagos command. So they gather this information and they give it to us. The information we gave you about the rate of crime, the percentage at which it has come down, was given to us by the Nigerian police. So that is their own aspect of this enforcement. And when we need this data, we get it from them. However, from what they told us, the areas where we have banned this Okada, the crime rate have reduced by 63%.
But even then, I wanted to know if you guys have been able to make arrests of idle hands who were up to no good, who wanted to, who will have used Okada to commit crime but have been, as it were, defunct and are looking for other avenues to convey their evil intentions.
Yes, the Nigerian Police Lagos Command, our RS and task force have been doing a wonderful job so far. I must commend them. However, like I said, they've been making a lot of arrests, and I am not privy to the numbers right now. But however, regularly they make this arrest, even while they're doing their normal patrol, and they normally report it to us. In fact, if you remember, we placed a ban on what is called Ministry of MOT enforcement. I disbanded that group, and on Tuesday we arrested 2 of them. We've handed them over to the police for prosecution. So we work hand in hand with the police on this. So they actually handle the enforcement part of the prosecution part.
All right. There's also this aspect where we see persons coming from outside Lagos State with their Okadas into the state. How are we also trying to nip that in the bud to ensure that we curtail the inflow of these persons coming from other states with their bikes?
Yeah, thank you very much. So basically, in fact, about less than 2 weeks ago, the RRS stopped a vehicle, a truck that was loaded with young men from the northern extraction with motorcycles coming into Lagos. So what we're doing is that we're working with the intelligence community to gather this information as they are coming. It's not as if they will put it on their head that this truck is actually coming with bikes and guys. So what they do is that they put the bikes under the trucks and put probably some products on top of it. You understand it now? However, we're working with the intelligence community to stop this. And it's been working. They've been making arrests and they've been prosecuting these people.
Now, for the areas where you have enforced this ban and other areas where you are looking to enforce this ban, you know, Okada is a means of transportation for a lot of persons. What other options is the state providing for these people?
Thank you very much. Even before now, the options have always been there. We have small buses, we have even the tricycles, what you call Mara, that moves into what we call the last mile and the first mile. And however, Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has provided through Lamata 1,000 small buses, called first mile and last mile buses, that will convey you from a major junction into the inner streets. So, and we are deploying more. We are even working with the NURTW and other road transport organizations to deploy the smaller buses into the interlands. So that is what is happening right now.
So, all right. So, I mean, with this extension of 4 local governments, the ban on 4 local governments, I mean, it now appears that 10 local governments out of 20 have now seen this ban. Where I'm sure the government is planning, hopefully in the coming months, to have a total ban in Lagos. Is that the plan? And how soon are we going to see that?
Well, like I said, we are a deliberate government. We do things based on data and information available. However, the last decision sits with Mr. Governor, who is the #1 citizen of Nigeria, of Lagos State, that is responsible for the security and lives of Lagosians. So we are working with him, and by the time we have made our decisions, we make it known. However, for now, we have just banned in 10 local government. That's like half. And like I said, if you look at these 10 local governments, you will see that it cuts across from one end to the other. So we're starting from, say you are coming from the airport, or you are coming from Oshodi. It takes you through, you want to pass through Ikorodu Road, you are banned there. You want to pass through Port Mainland Bridge, Bagada, these guys are banned there, up to Etiosa, and then all the major bridges and highway. So it's a deliberate thing so that enforcement can be congruent and be seamless. That is why we're doing this. And by the grace of God, the people will appreciate what we're doing, sir.
It seems it is Korokwe to the rescue. We see them everywhere now.
Well, we have, yes, on this issue of Korokwe, I'm sorry, Mr. Sam, on this issue of Korokwe, we held a meeting 2 weeks ago with the Transport Union and Lamata, and we're looking at how we can form this Korokwe into like a cooperative, and then we'll identify all these Korokwe buses, and then we make sure that we certify them, and they will of course join our last mile and first mile buses. In fact, we're also coming out with a regulation on that, because if you see those Korokwe, they're actually very small also. So they should be doing interlands, not on the major highway. However, we're still trying to cross the I's and cross the T's and dot all the I's in that.
Because
we know the Korokwes are there.
Because you see that they don't have, sorry.
And better, yes, sir.
Sorry, they don't have designated bus stops. The stops clog traffic, and I'm sure that is part of the efforts you are making to streamline the activities in the state.
You are correct. So we know that they work disjointedly, and that is not even good for planning for us. So we want to get all their numbers. We give them the routes that they will be operating on. So they're just going from one route to the other. So that's why we're sitting down with them as it is right now. Very soon, in less than a month, we're coming out with a major regulation for them where they will have routes and proper bus stops, just with our last mile and first mile. I can tell you a lot of those first miles and last mile buses are still coming. We're expecting, I'm sure very soon we'll be deploying about 5,000 of them to different parts of Lagos, and you will see them. Just like we did with the big buses that you can see now on our BRT, on our major road. That is where we're going. Because for us as a government, it is about going for large capacity buses. That's the most important. Mass transit. That's what can actually make life easy for everyone. Like Lagos State, that's like a mega city.
The governor said in a recent interview that crime rates in those areas have dropped from about 500 and something. I mean, sorry, I'm not talking about crime rates here. Hospital fatalities a drop from about 500 to less than 100. Where are the little fatalities? What are they related to? What is the cause of those fatalities? Is it still Okada? Is it the stragglers on the streets, or the remnants who have decided to dodge the squad?
Is coming from the remnants, and it's also coming from people driving their personal bikes, and also the dispatch riders. So the dispatch riders, I had a meeting with them, and because they are organized, we had a meeting with them last week and told them that they have to streamline how they are working. They have to get all the right safety equipment, all the safety gears. They must have it for them to be able to fly. They must respect the law. They must wait at traffic light. They should not drive against traffic, because we have been seeing that trend that the dispatch riders are now driving recklessly. For us, it's easy for us to deal with them because they have licenses. All we can do is just collect back their license to operate. You understand it now? And for those riding their personal bikes, you should not ride a bike that is less than 220 cc of engine capacity. It is not safe for you. And if you are riding that bike, you have to have your safety gear. And also, for those recalcitrant ones, we'll definitely get them. We are coming for you.
All right. And that's a fine place to leave the conversation this morning. Honorable Shola Giwa, Special Advisor to Lagos State Governor on Transportation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.